Hey everybody, today we're talking about the new Morbius trailer.
It's a pretty cool trailer.
Yeah, you excited about this movie?
I am. I actually don't really know much about Morbius other than the trailer. It's not something I had ever followed.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing to me is I would say that's true for most everyone, is that nobody knows really who Morbius is.
Okay.
So it's a huge risk to make a movie about this character who's like kind of a Spider-Man villain, kind of like an anti-hero, you know, He's the living vampire, so he's like, he has to drink blood, right?
He's the true Batman.
Yeah, that's the other funny thing to me. Okay, so there's so much going on here.
Right.
Like, when we watched the trailer for the first time, I hadn't seen it. You know, I didn't know what was going to come up at the end. There's a stinger. So, like, spoilers for this trailer for the movie.
Oh, spoilers for the trailer? Hey, no. Pause this video. Go watch the trailer, come back to this video, because we're about to talk about it.
Like, you asked me near the end, it was like, Morbius, coming soon, or July 2020, or whatever it is. And you're like, are you excited for this? And then right when you said that, like, Michael Keaton shows up on the screen.
Yeah, he's like, hey, Doc.
He's like, what's up, Doc?
It was like Beetlejuice and... Hey, Doc.
So you asked me, are you excited that happened? I turned to you like, yeah, I'm excited now, all of a sudden.
The real Batman showed up.
Yeah, so that's the other funny thing, is it's like, he was Batman.
Yeah.
Jared Leto was
the
Joker. And now it's like, kind of the roles are reversed, because Michael Keaton's like a Joker.
Yeah.
Kind of like a joking character in this one little short clip. And then, you know, Morbius is the Batman.
Yeah.
Now, you know, they've tried to bring Morbius on screen before.
Oh.
This was actually a deleted scene in the first Blade movie. Like, way back in, what was it, 98, a year before The Matrix came out. Mm-hmm. The end of that movie was supposed to be like a reveal of, hey, who's that guy up on the roof? And it was like a faraway shot.
Morbius?
Of Morbius.
Oh.
And it's like, you know, it was a faraway shot. It was just like a figure standing there because they hadn't cast him yet. Mm-hmm. And they ended up never doing that. They went somewhere else, you know, with the sequel.
Okay.
And then the sequel to the sequel. So this is ultimately the first time Morbius will be in a movie. And again, to me, strange choice. Mm-hmm. But part of that is because, you know, Sony has the Spider-Man rights, the film rights. Uh-huh. So they can make any Spider-Man movie, even if it's just like a Spider-Man sub-character or a Spider-Man villain.
Wait, so who's making this movie?
This is Sony.
Okay, Sony's making this. Yeah. And it said brought to you by the people that made Spider-Man Homecoming and this and that and everything else. So they're really trying to say, hey, we can make superhero movies.
Yeah, like, they want to make like a Spider-Man cinematic universe that's like separate but still vaguely connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because again, it's like Michael Keaton was in that Spider-Man movie that is connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay.
But Spider-Man hasn't appeared himself in, like, say, the Venom movie.
Right.
That Sony put out.
Right.
Now, Venom makes more sense as a movie to put out because Venom has a ton of fans. Mm-hmm. Like, people want to see Venom.
They know who he is.
They know who he is. And
yeah.
You can thank Todd McFarlane for a lot of that.
Okay.
It's like, you know, when we go wait in line, as we often do, to get a signature from Todd McFarlane, a good portion of the people waiting in line are there to get, like, Spider-Man or Venom comics signed.
Right.
Not just Spawn. But Morbius, I don't know. I don't think that there's anyone that's, like, putting out, like...
Who's most famous for drawing Morbius?
That's a really good question. I would have to say it's tough to call. There's been a couple of, like, painted pieces by an artist named Gabriele Dell'Otto. Okay. I think an Italian artist who's done really good pieces of Morbius, but I don't know if he's ever done a Morbius comic. And then there was a Morbius solo series back in the 90s when they gave every character his own solo series for a year or so. And I've got just the first issue of that. I bought it when I was like 9 years old. And even then, it didn't really hold my attention past one issue.
Well, if they can do this right, I think it'll be something that there could be sequels for it. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people love vampire stories.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah.
If they can make that seem more like this, I think they can get that crossover to the horror genre and not just focus on the comic book community, because if they don't know who this is, they're probably like, oh, great, another comic book movie about something I don't care about. At least they're not trying to ruin my childhood.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I hadn't even considered, like, the crossover appeal for something like Dracula or vampires or that sort of horror universe. But the thing there is, I think this is true. Go ahead and look this up on IMDb. The people who wrote this Morbius movie also wrote the last Dracula movie.
Oh,
Dracula
okay.
Untold.
That makes sense.
But I never saw that. Did you ever see that?
No, but that's not really aimed at me.
Yeah, but I think that was like an early attempt with the Tom Cruise Mummy movie to do like, the Universal Monster cinematic universe.
Yeah.
But
I did see Tom Cruise as a vampire.
In Interview with the Vampire.
Yes.
So that would be... I don't think he has a cameo in this one, but that would be insane. That would be insane if like Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt...
If he was like the lead bat.
Showed up. And this is a huge tangent, but do you know who the little girl in Interview with the Vampire was, that actress?
I forget her name, but yeah, I'm
It
familiar
was
with her.
Kirsten Dunst, who grew
That's
up
right.
to be Mary Jane in the first series of Spider-Man.
Mind blown.
And,
Okay.
Okay, so also speaking of, Spider-Man 1 through 3, the Tobey Maguire movies, the weird connection here is in this trailer, there's the scene where Dr. Michael Morbius is walking down an alleyway, and you saw the Spider-Man poster and it says murderer over him?
Yeah.
It's weird because that's a photo of... It looks more like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man than the Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Well, that's probably the last one they had the rights to for Sony, right?
But it's not even like... I don't even think it's actually... What I read is it's not from either series of movies. It's from the video game.
Oh.
So they took a screenshot from the Spider-Man video game for the PlayStation and put that in the alleyway and then like murderer over it. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
The other thing, in general that I like from Sony movies sometimes is that Sony as a company is like a hardware company. So they're really committed to, home video upgrades like 4K UHD.
Right.
So if they're committed to that, usually that means most of the new movies they put out, not all of them, but a lot of them are finished in 4K. Good. I agree. But the standard for a lot of studios and like for Marvel movies in general tends to be like to finish the movie at 2K, half the quality. Now, unfortunately, the new Spider-Man movies are part of that camp. So Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home are both 2K movies, as well as Venom, which was like the independent Sony film.
Right.
And we don't know yet about this one. Like, I haven't seen the official technical specifications for Morbius, but, fingers crossed that it's true 4K.
Yeah, I really hope so. Because, I noticed that, like a lot of DC movies, this one's very dark. So it's not very bright. There's a lot of detail that gets lost when you have lower quality.
Yeah, absolutely. And true 4K really does help with that. And that's not like all the DC movies, but say like Batman vs. Superman, which is a very dark film, was, I believe, actually mastered in 4K. And certainly that would help. The other last thing I think I want to mention from the trailer is the musical choice.
Yes.
Now, this is a classical piece. Everyone knows what it is, even if you couldn't identify it by name.
Yeah.
But this is the Fur Elise by Beethoven.
And you know what I thought is funny is that they tied that song into the movie also.
Uh-huh.
And so there's parts where he's like, bah, bah, and like along with the music. And I thought it was like maybe some kind of a quirk from whatever disability he has. So that didn't play very well with me. I was like, are they making fun of disabled people right now?
Right, yeah, it's a bit of a strange choice, but it is, it's been a catchy tune for however many hundreds of years at this point.
Right.
And the really funny thing to me now is if you just Google or YouTube search for Fur Elise, the first result that comes up is a video that was uploaded more than a decade ago. It's got 48 million views, but the guy who uploaded it immediately saw the connection and changed the title to Fur Elise Morbius.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
Yeah, so, again, bottom line, I am looking forward to seeing this and seeing what connections they make. I'm really thinking that they're going towards the Sinister Six. I think they're trying to get 6 villains for Spider-Man to face in the third or fourth Spider-Man movie they do.
In this movie, who do you expect is going to be the good guy? I saw him kind of facing off against a lady that was outside of his cage. Who is she?
I don't know, but something that is coming up that Sony wants to do in addition to this is the Sable and Black movie, which will be the Black Cat that I'm also drawing right here, and Silver Sable, 2 other Spider-Man anti-heroes. So I'm not saying they're in this movie, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, I just wonder what the storyline's going to be, if it's just like an origin story, but if so, then who does he have conflict with, or is it just the conflict with trying to find his cure?
Yeah, at this point it's hard to say, but if you've got theories, let us know in the comments below. And until next time, honey, what can they do?
Be sure to like this video, let us know that you like it, tell us why in the comments below, but also subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can find out when we do more videos.
Awesome, excellent. And until next time, everyone, if you're an artist, share your art with me and keep drawing.